Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showing off a really good Pendulum combo. It's going to be a better version of a opener. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the opener, and this guy actually does happen to have one hand trap. But the thing is, this is going to be better than the standard play of the Vortex, Dawn Dragster, Heavenly Spheres combo. And then you can go into the Morphage. But the thing is that this will pretty much beat out most players' rebuttal to your first turn. And that is because what really destroys this is essentially Super Poly. Super Poly will destroy this, and most decks won't be able to really counter this specific setup because they cannot react to it, which is essentially locking them out of a special summon. So here's the important part over here, which is different than I would say the normal play, which normally you would go into your Dawn Dragster from here, and then on top of that you also have Zephyra Divine Strike. So here's the important part that's different than the standard Pendulum combo decks. So you make Shooting Riser Dragon. You activate its effect to Foolish Burial a card that's lower level than it. We're going to, in this case, send Jowgen the Spiritualist. And then we're going to go ahead and summon one of the newer cards, number 60, Dugals, or Dugarus of the Timeless. So his effect over here lets us detach 2, and we're going to be able to special summon one monster in a defense position, which is going to be Jowgen. And Jowgen has this effect where, well, you just win the game, basically. This card is actually okay if you happen to be going second, too. So his effect is you get to discard one random card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy all special summon monsters on the field, and neither player can special summon monsters. After, of course, you basically special summon a bunch of monsters. In this instance, we happen to have Mythical Beast Jackal King. This is not something we'll always get, but at this point, guys, we have technically 2 negates with this. We have no special summons for our opponent. This card's pretty much worthless. And then this card is a negate, and then this card can be kind of a bounce negate, if you will. It can disrupt combos, and then we have Divine Strike to negate anything. So at this point, like, your opponent is not going to be able to do anything. They're always going to try to get rid of Jowgen, and usually it's going to be trying to attack over him. So you have this card to essentially just bounce it back. So it actually helps quite a bit because, again, you need to be able to stop like the one normal summon to attack over Jowgen. So that's it for the combo. It's going to be a quick little vid today, and if you're new here and you want to see more stuff, and we also have a deck profile, but like I said, if you're new here and you do want to see more quick Yu-Gi-Oh videos, I'm trying to make my channel not have 10-minute videos, but sometimes when there's several examples, then the deck profile gets a little bit longer. But again, this is an extension of kind of what I would consider the standard combo, because if you do either make either one of these along with, of course, your Heavenly Spheres, sometimes your opponent can just play out of it. It is kind of rare, but it's usually done through with Super Poly. But with this, like, there's no Super Poly. There's, like, no special summons because Jowgen does not allow that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. And this is a very consistent deck to actually pull it off. Like, the consistency that Servant and Endymion adds to Pendulums is absolutely crazy. And by the way, if this is your first time looking at any Pendulum deck, because when I first saw some of these Pendulum builds, because I think it's a while since I've even talked or covered Pendulums, I was looking, I'm like, well, most of these card effects are like once per turn anyways, like for specifically this, this, and then this. But the thing is there's so many cards where it's like you activate this card to discard one card to add this, or you again, you'll be getting rid of a card anyways through some of the activations of other cards. But anyways, we got the Dragon Pit, and then we got the Endymion Boss, which we didn't actually go for. But sometimes, occasionally, you can have the standard combo and then have like one extra monster. And then we have the Dragon Calling Magician, Deshrudo. We got Supreme King Gate 0. We got the Mythical Beast Jackal King. We got the Aether, the Evil Empowering Dragon. We got 3 copies of the Chronograph, 1 copy of Zephranu for, of course, your Zephyr Divine Strike. And then we got 2 copies of Supreme King Darkworm, 2 copies of Violet Poison Magician, 2 copies of Toon Magician, 1 Time Gazer, 3 copies of Servant, which basically runs this deck so much more consistently. And we have Jowgen, 3 copies of Allure. Now he's also playing 2 copies of Desires. Obviously you try to go for your combo, but it does tactically work quite well in the deck because you're able to obviously put more counters on your Endymion. Plus you can draw some cards. This is basically to get around if your opponent actually negates like 1 or 2 cards. You have this for the pluses, and at that point I guess you lose out on potentially Jowgen. But at that point, just try to go for your combo first. And then if you can follow it up with the Desires after, it's just like GG for the most part. But try to go for your combo because first, before going for this. But if you have to go for this, like you don't have a play, then obviously, yes, you just activate this. But the 2 key cards that you wouldn't technically want to manage are going to be Jowgen and Divine Strike. The rest, you're playing multiple copies of, technically with just Deshrudo too, I would say. But with this, you can obviously kind of go around that. But it depends on your opening hand if you have Dark Worm or not, because that's a pretty important card too. But like I said, keep that in mind. You could even drop this card completely. And then we've got 3 copies of Duel of Alliance, 3 copies of Spell Power Control, 3 copies of Dragon Shrine, 2 copies of Pendulum Call over here. And then we got Upstart Goblin and Foolish, 3 copies of Into the Void, and then of course use Effort Divine Strike. And then for the extra deck, Vortex, Hot Red Dragon, Supreme King, Clearwing, Shooting Riser Dragon, the Dawn Dragster, Absolute, number 60, which is part of the new combo, the Boral Sword, Yugioh, 3 Burst Dragon, Heavy Metal Foes, Agarpain, the B-Cop, and then we've got Celestial Spheres and Elfie. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay showcasing off. It's a pretty self-explanatory one if any of you guys have played Pendulums, because I actually was in the process of building Pendulums before. I was just like, you know what? Nibiru is pretty good, and you will absolutely lose to Nibiru with almost any Pendulum deck, because every single Pendulum deck will be forced to basically go for Electrum because it's so good. And then from there, if you go ahead and Pendulum summon, like, you're gonna summon 5 monsters. But yeah, that is indeed the Pendulum deck extension combo, and I think it's one of the best combos. Going first turn, it's way better than, again, instead of Jowgen going for like one of these, this, or of course your Dawn Dragster, which is very common for this deck to go ahead and go into. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and shout out to my boy Honey Badger for sending me in this play, because I didn't even think about just going for Jowgen. Very simple stuff. I mean, the last time this card saw competitive play, I believe, was during Spellbooks, back when Judgment was a thing, because this card just locked your opponent out. Your opponent, if it didn't have Blaster, it was game over. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell, so you don't miss out on new Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you guys want to send me in any other crazy replays, or better versions of, I guess, what would be considered like the standard of the meta, feel free to send it in, or just completely rogue anti-meta. I love seeing that as well. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.